Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to another Tower of God lore video. Today we're going to be talking about the Name Hunt Station, its history, geography, and all that. So with that being said, let's get into the video. The Name Hunt Station was created on the 39th floor a long time ago to pay tribute to a bet the great families had with the natives of the tower, where they put their names on the line. But long after the great families conquered this floor, the floor became a lawless, neglected area. However, the great families wanted to change that and were planning to transform the station into a pyramid slave system that generates enormous profits. I'll talk more about that later on, but the person that arrived on the floor and transformed it into this profit-making slave system was none other than Kaiser, or Lopobia Elaine. Now, Lopobia Elaine has a pretty heart-wrenching backstory. I'm sure most of you can guess from her name, but she is from the Lopobia family, more specifically the Great Wolf branch of the family, which doesn't have anything that special about it compared to the other branches. At one point, rumors started to spread in the family that Elaine was going to be chosen as a princess of Jahad, and naturally, she gained a lot of popularity and power, as well as the Grey Wolf branch. But a week before she was supposed to go to Jahad's palace, the incident took place. It was a day where children from all 20 branches of the family came together to compete. Elaine didn't have to attend, but she went anyways as she was summoned by the head of the family. And that is where she met the boy. The boy was the most skilled out of all the children from the other branches, and she immediately fell in love with him. And as we all know, that is a huge red flag. Someone who is going to become a princess of Jahad should not fall in love. When it was time for her to go to the Jahad family, she made a decision. She could not give up her love for the boy and ran away with him. She didn't care about being princess of Jahad. All she cared about was being with the boy that she loved. But you can't have a good Tower of God backstory without some form of betrayal. The boy that she loved so much and was willing to give everything up for was actually a trap laid out by Jahad's soldiers and the direct line of the Lopobia family. The entire thing was staged from the beginning to check if Elaine was suitable to become a princess of Jahad and give up falling in love. So obviously Elaine failed and the main family was furious. They punished her entire branch family to imprisonment and put an enormous debt on them. Also, Elaine had to perform a special punishment, which takes us back to what I was saying before. Elaine was the one the Lopobia family chose to reform the Name Hunt Station to become a money-making slave system. And some of the money she makes would go towards paying off the debt of her family. So she became a regular and quickly climbed the tower and made it to the station. She immediately took control of all the regulars at the station and made them her slaves. And she started to become known as the Kaiser of the Name Hunt Station. Alright, now let's go over how the station actually works and how it makes money. So the reason it's called the Name Hunt Station is pretty self-explanatory. Once you are at the station, you can steal other people's names by winning in a battle. The winner can take the loser's name and all their possessions. The loser becomes unnamed and has to stay on the station forever. And you can only leave once you reclaim your own name or steal someone else's. These rules apply to everyone in the tower, even the 10 great families. But the only exception is people with Jahad's name. The specific method to stealing someone's name is to place a hand on someone's back and keep it there for 10 seconds. If an opponent is completely destroyed, then their name is automatically given to the winner of the fight. Once a name is stolen, a scroll with the name is automatically generated. This scroll has a list of all the names you've collected and the names of your servants. Now, a servant is someone who was originally unnamed until a regular with multiple names gave them one. And that person now has to serve the regular that gave them the name as their master. If you're a servant, you cannot refuse any order from your master, but you can create your own servants. This system of servants is valid anywhere in the tower, not just the Name Hunt Station. Okay, now let's talk a little about the geography of the whole station. The unnamed people who can't leave are staying in a small building near the entrance of the station. The named people are living in a way larger building with more space behind the unnamed residents. And beside the named residence is Kaiser's chamber, also known as the festival field. To travel between these areas, you need to use a floating island, but only a light bearer with a name can operate them. So unfortunately, unnamed regulars cannot go to different areas of the station and can only stay at the unnamed residence. In the unnamed residence, 6 people can share a room and food is provided by the building. However, there must be no fighting whatsoever in the building unless it's the 10 bosses that are doing the fighting. So what is the main purpose of the station? What is the way Kaiser makes money? Well, she makes money through an event called the festival. In the festival, there's an auction that takes place where rankers come to buy the names of regulars. Once a ranker buys a regular's name, that regular becomes that ranker's servant. And that's how Kaiser makes money. Regulars from the 10 families are usually sold at a very high price. It's basically like human trafficking. This is the real reason why the Lopopia family sent Elaine to the station. But after years of doing this, shouldn't the debt that Elaine was working to pay off be erased? Well, actually, the money that she was giving towards the debt was being wasted. Elaine was being used for years to give her main family money without her debt being cleared at all. But the funny thing is that Elaine knew all of this. She knew the money that she was giving was being spent by her family and not going towards the debt. But even knowing this, she didn't retaliate. She kept doing her punishment because she was filled with guilt of failing and disgracing her family by falling in love. Lastly, I want to talk about the 10 bosses of this station. After becoming a ruler of the station, Kaiser created the 10 bosses system. Basically, the 10 regulars with the most names on the station became Kaiser's servants. If a regular can defeat all the 10 bosses and gather their names, you can challenge Kaiser to a duel at the festival. The only way to fight Kaiser is if you can get all the 10 bosses' names or if Kaiser directly challenges you herself. If a regular attacks her without these conditions met, then the floor guardian automatically disintegrates that regular. Okay, let's go over who the 10 bosses are. First we have Alphine the Shadow Girl. She was formerly Kaiser's right hand before she was defeated by Bomb. Next we have Eri Inyeta, the genius swordsman, obviously from the Eri family. He's recognized as one of the strongest of the 10 bosses. He eventually got defeated by Kun Ran. Next we have Hesse the Dirtman, who also got absolutely clapped by Ran. Now we have Lulu from the Underwater Daan clan, who was defeated by Sachi and his allies. Then we have Marde the Octopus Woman, who got killed by Endorsi. Next we have Varial Vani, the Keyman, who was subdued by Haryun and her allies. And after that we have Yukon the Toxic Waste Human, who was defeated by Bomb. And the last 10 bosses, we never got to see them because they were defeated by Shibisu's team. So that's basically it for the name hunt station. I'm pretty sure I checked all the boxes. If I missed something, let me know in the comments. Also leave some suggestions for future videos. And if you enjoyed the video, then consider liking and subscribing. I know 90% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed. So if you like Tower of God content, then consider subscribing. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.